Hello and welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival. My name is Spanj and welcome to another 10 must-have blueprints video. Well, it's been a while since I've done one of these, but here we are, and you're joining me here in a beautiful Omicron, the oxygenless world here in the Empyrion Galaxy as we know it. And we're going to start off our top 10. Well, I hesitate to use the word top 10, even though I blatantly just said it there. Before I start, this list is basically my opinion, okay? I have trawled through some of the workshop's contents, and given the fact that the workshop is incredibly chock full of great things, there is no doubt some stuff on there that I have missed. And if you're watching this going, well, why hasn't he included that? That should be out there. Then, yeah, fair enough. Leave that in the comments, and I shall take a look when I have a moment. And maybe it might be in the next one. But for now, I've gone through the workshop, better part of 2 days scouring the workshop, spawning things in, having a look, having a go with some of the things. And these are 10 blueprints that I've come to find and found that I like for various reasons. And those reasons can include it looks great, it's really practical, the attention to detail is amazing, it's a very unique design. Basically, it boils down to my personal preference and taste and whether I like it or not. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, let's crack on with number one. And here it is. Number one is the drill hole maker thing. Yeah, I'm not sure about the name. I get where he's coming from. I mean, it drills. It makes holes, right? And it's a thing. Quick side note, the drill hole maker thing is actually based on the Ladybig, so appropriate credit should go to the creator of the Ladybig and probably the Ladybug who originally created that one. Anyway, the point is that, you know, it's a drilly thing and it's cool, right? Just play fair. But this is obviously a hover miner. It looks fantastic. I love the simplistic design. And the other thing that I found about this is it's got fantastic forward thrust. And seems to be really stable. Now, don't get me wrong, I still like the drill sergeant that I featured in the last episode. But I've been trying this thing out, and it's really good. Let's give it a go. Alright, so we are going to attack this silicon deposit down here. It's about 60 meters down. I don't know, roughly about there-ish, I guess. Yeah, ish. Let's tip this thing right on its nose and go for it. You know, there's 6 drill pieces on the front of this. It will mash through the ground, no problem at all. This has to be one of the deepest silicon deposits I think I've ever seen. We are here though, and it is now starting to chew through some silicon. Just going to try and level off. Quite a small deposit. One of the most difficult things about these hover miners is sometimes getting them out of the hole that you've just dug them into. But this thing, with all those thrusters, has absolutely no trouble getting out of a near vertical hole that I just dug it into. Or getting back into it, as you can see. So, as with all the builds I feature here on today's episode, there is a link in the video description. So, this one is by Trig. Thank you very much, Trig. Great build. Fantastic little hover miner. In terms of... no, I don't want the console. In terms of the resources, it's not that expensive. Okay, we're looking at 537 iron. And to put it into comparison with the drill sergeant, it is a little bit more expensive than the drill sergeant. Yes, and there is a bit of sathium in there as well. But beggars can't be choosers. It's a damn good miner. Number 2 on our list is the P.U.P. P.U.P. I don't actually know what that stands for. It might be on the workshop page. But this is it. It is a base. Honestly, it's a base. There's a whole host of these on the workshop. Created by Vexray, and obviously they won't take a lot to reproduce yourself, but these things, they're already decorated, and you know, they're ready to go. They're brilliant little things. You just literally pop them down and you got yourself a defense turret. Inside is literally all you need. core fuel tank generator and an ammo box. And obviously in this one, the cannon turret is obsolete, so you probably want to chuck it into creative mode and update the cannon. But if we have a quick look at the workshop, you can see there's loads of them for everything. You got plasmas, your flak, you've even got ones for medkit, spawn, emergency, miner's light. Brilliant. That one's by Jim. You know, thanks Jim. I'm featuring the ones by Vexray today. I don't think Vex has updated them in some time, so you might need to pop these in creative to update them before you can spawn them in a survival mode. But I like to have these things handy just in case you need to pop down a quick cannon turret. It's very, very cheap to make, as you can imagine, but obviously make sure you got some ammo to hand, otherwise they're fairly useless. Number 3 on our list is the Diablo Gatto by Pyston, and this thing is absolute beauty of a tank. I've actually had a hand in building hover tanks recently, and well, I thought I was good. No siree, this thing is awesome. It just looks incredible and is armed to the teeth, as you can see. I've actually put this thing through its paces, and as you can see, it holds its own, no problem, although the turrets do have a habit of shooting whatever the hell they want rather than what I want them to. But that isn't exclusive to this tank, that's just hover tanks in general. Thank you, Elion AI. Shoot the damn turrets, goddammit! Anyway, this thing really does hold up well to a hammering as those turrets pound the side armor, but it ain't doing anything. We've still got all our components intact. In fact, after a prolonged engagement against these POIs in complete reckless abandonment, we can see that we've only lost a couple of Gatling cannons at most. And, well, it held up really well, considering. I mean, I just chucked this thing straight at some POIs. I didn't even configure the turrets or anything. I just went, there you go, here's some POIs, see how you handle. Brilliant. But if we return to our creative session here, have a look around the Gatto. Can I call it the Gatto? It sounds like a dessert. Let's stick with Diablo Gatto, the actual name of it, rather than trying to paraphrase. This thing, I don't know how much to say. It just looks great. I'm not sure from a practical point of view whether having some of the thrusters in the rear exposed and others not, but from a visuals point of view I can see what he was doing there, and it does look really good. The other thing I love about this is if we approach the rear, we've got some signal logic in there that turns that rear light on, extends the gantry, and we can walk up into the rear door. We've got double rear doors here for extra protection from surprise rear attack. And inside is no disappointment either. We have got some fantastic decoration going on in here, and you know, Pyston's one of these guys that does the interior very well, in my opinion. I love all the piping. I love what he's done with the armor lockers, inverted upside down. Everything else is great texturing, colors, every square, apart from that one right there, and that one right there. Everything is otherwise textured. Diablo Gatto Mark II, designed and built by Pyston Works. Yes, indeedy. Required ammo, helpful little things here. One criticism I may have about this tank is the cockpit here. Me, personally, and I say that personally to accentuate that point, I wouldn't have the cockpit so far forward in the tank. If you're having a forward fight, I don't think it's going to take a great deal of fire to take you out of that cockpit. But anyway, like I said, I did chuck this thing at 3 POIs very recklessly, and it came out with but a scratch. A good all-round tank. Thank you, Pyston, and I think I speak for everyone in the Empyrion community when I say welcome back. Glad to have you. Number 4 on our list is the Banrock processing plant, and this is a really nice PvE base. And the reason I like this one is because it's not too big and it's not too small. It's about right. And also, the creator of this one went through some great attention to detail on the base in general. It's got everything that you need from a PvE base, but I would say you probably want to increase its firepower on this side, just to take care of any sneaky drones. But I like the attention to detail he's gone to. You've got the piping through the top. He's put these like storage tanks here, these chimney funnels, Go down into the furnaces down below. We've obviously got some deco up here, truss blocks leading up the side and everything like that. And I just think that's it's really good. And it's a good balance between attention to detail, just sort of decorative spamming, and actual functionality. The repair pad here, for example, leading into a nice hangar bay. And if we go inside, practicality continues inside, really. It's not an overly complicated base. We've got elevators up into the tower, as you can imagine. Well, the tower is pretty much just decorative. It does give you a nice view over the surrounding area. Jumping off of here, we've obviously got our SV landing pad here, which is good, which leads down into the tower again, to another separate elevator back down to the floor. But he's also got things like some signal logic integrated in here. It's got a nice sensor here that opens the balcony doors, closes them again behind you. And given how unreliable shutter doors are, I'm pretty grateful for that, actually. We've got some furnaces, plenty of storage. I don't know which way to choose. Got to construct lots of constructors in here and some more storage. And I just like the feel of this place. It just seems clean, peaceful. And it's the white texturing, perhaps. Ammo boxes, cargo boxes, laid out in a fashion it looks like sort of just cargo storage area, which is great, which I like. Ammo storage, I might change that to be slightly better protected, underground perhaps. Fuel and generators, don't think. There's total capacity 26,000. If we fill that up, what does that give us? 13 hours of power. I might increase the fuel capacity in here as well, if this was mine. Let's have a look through that other door we didn't go through. And this leads out to a nice glass corridor into the nice garden area, where he is... okay, he's overdone the, the air vents, but I can see why. And we got plenty of garden here for a single person. Nice. And I love how he's integrated the grow lights into these columns, arching over using the truss blocks as well. Very good. The Banrock processing plant. Fantastic, maybe second base in survival mode. Number 5 on our list is a little SV called the Explorer Mark IIA C3D Hart. There are 2 variants of this, one with hardened steel and one without. And this is a brilliant little fighter, like entry level, maybe your second fighter, if you go really entry level first, as this one does have a little satium in the unhardened version of it. But I really like the design of this, and it's got those 2 rocket launchers on the front, which just give it that little extra punch. I don't think it's a particularly new design, but it's been around for a while. But I just like the shape of it, and especially like the little tail on the end of it, just to give it that little distinct look. I don't know, it looks a little bit like G-Police Copter from the old PlayStation game from years ago. But I don't know, something about the shape and the design of this really drew me to it, and I've actually given it a little go against some AI ships, and she held up really well. This is the unhardened version, and I just give this AI ship a real beating with those 2 front rocket launchers. And they are just the dumb firing rocket launchers, so you do have to lead the targets. But, you know, it received a good few hits in return, but it only lost a few blocks, which is pretty good. And for an entry-level sort of fighter SV, I think it's really good. If we just quickly return to creative mode here, if we have a look on top, we can actually drop down here. Ooh. And we can go inside, access all of our cargo space, constructors, and whatnot inside as well. Nice little hatch. Oh, can't get out now. But yeah, thank you, Michpal. I don't know if I pronounce your name right. Michpal, maybe. But yeah, thank you very much for that one. Great little ship. It's always difficult with SVs because everyone's taste in SVs is slightly different. But like I said at the beginning, this is entirely my opinion. My video, my rules. If you don't like it, get out. Anyway, our next one, number 6, takes us into space. We are in the world of CVs. I'm just going to bring the camera down here and reveal our next number 6, the Apotheon. Apotheon. In a world of unique looking CVs, have you ever seen one that looks this awesome? I've always wanted to play around with a vertical style CV or SV, and this thing looks great, doesn't it? How unique is that? As a design, love it. The whole thing is a combat steel makes, actually it wouldn't even be too bad in a PvP scenario. You do have exposed thrusters and whatnot, but it's actually going to be required in an upcoming patch, I suspect. You wouldn't want to stay in a fight too long with only 1 or 2 layers thick of armor, but you know, if you're intending to just be a scout craft or something like that, this thing wouldn't be bad even in a PvP fight. In a PvE fight, yeah, no problem. You got a good little beast here. It's got some good guns on it, front-facing, turreted otherwise, and I can imagine in its current form, in the sort of vertical form, you've got a really good firing solution from all of those turrets there. I just love this design. Inside isn't bad either. Let's turn off God mode here and use the gravity. We've got a little SV landing pad on the back. There is no hangar bay on this, I would say. But you can definitely get an SV on the back there at least. You've got some signage to guide you through the ship. We're going to stay on this level. And yeah, the interior decoration, I get that the sort of the orange is the theme color of the ship. But I think you might have gone overboard on this one, buddy. Oh, hello, slow down. There's actually our fuel tank in there. Should have to do a little jump to get into, or you could just use the P menu. But this goes down into our warp drive, as you can see. That's a little escape hatch, or is it a trap hatch? I can't actually reach that. Okay, let's ignore it. We've got sentry guns in here as well. I've just noticed those. But yeah, any would-be boarders, watch out. As we go upstairs and turn around on ourselves, we've got our generators and whatnot. We'll go up that elevator in a second. We've got our driving seats. Our first set of driving seats anyway. Pilot seats. Let's go up that lift. We've got oxygen throughout, so this is a 6.0 build. We've got our fuel tanks behind us here. More up on the walls. Looks like our med bay here, some RCSs tucked away, armor lockers, some power storage, and a gravity generator over there as well. Ah, and he's gone white with the color scheme. A little break from all the orange. Got our storage, oxygen, more storage back there. Looks like we've got, I don't know what to call this, we've got ammo in here, but we've also got another driving seat here. Looking at the wall, it's like a evil layer conference room. We go up again, more storage. That's the top of the ship. We've God mode our way through here. We can see we're still in the armor here, so you can see how thick it is. At its thinnest, there, that's still 2 blocks before you get to the cargo. So you're at least 2 blocks thick. I think there are some parts where it's 1 thick here and the fuel tank. So if you are engaging, you want to stay front facing. You keep the front facing the enemy. Otherwise, a quick hit into the side. And there are thrusters here, so it would draw fire. There's a turret here which would also draw fire. One hits in that side and those fuel tanks will go. So bear that in mind. But really, this thing is just, look at it. How great is that? What a unique design. But 7 on our list is the turbine WTF4, and I brought this one up because the attention to detail in its design is incredible, and I just love the use of the shapes and blocks that is used. This is an SV. It's a really big SV. Well, it's big for my standards anyway. But the more you look at this thing, the more you find little things that he's done, like put these tiny little half blocks in here, a little LCD screen, and there's a little block there as well with the texture on it. 2 stations. This is just on the outside. And the more you, like I said, the more you just go around, the more little things you notice that he did with this, and it's just brilliant. I probably wouldn't even use this SV ever, but I just like looking at it. The rocket pods dotted around everywhere, miniguns, other guns. It's very well armed. Railguns, very well armed ship. And I think it looks pretty badass as well. You know, these little wings and fins everywhere. And it doesn't even let up when we get inside. When we get inside, it just gets even more stuff everywhere. Little detailing with a texture gun. Incredible. Even on the floor, there's these lines that he's drawn everywhere. Color-coded boxes and constructors and passenger seats with what's that? What's that back there? You know, there's no reason for it. He's just done it. Ammo fill, sorry, not anfill. Sorry. It's just pipes and little bulgy bits, and there's a cargo box in there. You wouldn't even notice it unless you were looking. Like, so you just spend hours just going around going, oh, look at that, oh, look at that, in there with the core. What's he done in here? I'm just going to God mode through, and little pipes and things everywhere, and in God mode through you see where the generators are hidden away and whatnot. But I just saw this and I was just instantly like, oh my god. Emergency cockpit. So you get blown out of the main cockpit, you can still come back and jump in that one, which is your head right next to the fuel tanks. That's why it's called the emergency one. You got a little kitchen. I didn't even notice that the first time I went round. Look, he's put a little kitchen sideboard in here with the fridges up above. I just love this thing. It's an absolute treasure trove of ideas. And you know what? Look at that. He did an LCD screen with the keyboard layout on it. A standard QWERTY keyboard on an LCD screen. Alright, maybe this guy just needs to get out a little bit more. That is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Every inch of this ship has some kind of detail on it. He's even built in a crosshair on this cockpit. I mean, it's absolutely not in line with anything, but I like the detail he's gone to. I just like the effort. Calculating quickest route. Love it. Number 8 is, well, I'm gonna spawn this in while I'm recording because I want you to see. Let me just hit F8 top right. Thanks, Fluke. Jesus, get out of the way. Shoo. Thank you. Top right, you can see my frames per second now. I'm going to spawn this ship in. Keep an eye on those frames. Alright, this is a GTX 970 graphics card. Okay, it's not the newest of things, but it's still not a slouch. Here we go. Oh boy. Yeah. And that will stay like that now. Because this thing is incredible. This is the P2. P2. I don't know how to pronounce his name because it's Russian. But link in the video description as always. Check it out for yourselves. This thing is insane. I'm probably about 50 meters away from it, and I'm not sure. It's like a mining cargo rig thing. It's actually pretty good interpretation of a space version of a cargo freighter. You got even unloading cranes and things like that on the side of it. I don't know where to begin with this thing, if I'm completely and utterly honest. I mean, I had a look at this thing and I was just in absolute awe. I was speechless for ages looking around this thing, and I thought, you know, I built the Reaver's Wrath and I thought that was a pretty hardcore capital vessel to build with a fair old amount of little attention to detail things. But then I saw this thing and I just went, oh Christ, I am an absolute noob at this, aren't I? The more you look at it, the more you find things everywhere. Just everywhere. Everything everywhere has got something on it. I've not even gone inside yet because this just might take a little while. Look at this thing. It's just kicking my GPU's butt. I'm down to 22 frames, for crying out loud. Damn. It's a fairly substantial deck. Goes on for a little ways. You've got some turrets down the side. I love these, by the way. These. And they look great. I wish they could turn. It would be amazing if they could turn, but you know, actually they are laser cannons. You could use them, but forward facing only. Wouldn't it be great if they could turn? Went to town on some decor aerials, which are brilliant, but look at these cranes. Look at those cranes. They got an inside and everything. You can get into them. Little control panel and elevator down. Those would have taken him better part of an hour just to do one crane. And that's without the texturing. So let's go up a little bit more. I was going to say, most of the ship on the interior is actually hollow. This is the bridge. This is definitely the bridge. It's got to be the bridge. Wait, is it the bridge? Yes, it is the bridge. There's a pilot seat. We found the bridge, and we've got funny little pyramid things on the side. There's an iceberg ahead, Captain. Yeah, it's got a very navy, like merchant navy feel to it. I'll give you that. There's even more upstairs. There's another upstairs. There's just like, you see what I mean? I could spend an episode just going around this ship and showing you everything that's in here. How many people live in this apartment? There's another one on the other side. I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to stop and move on to the next thing. I can't. I literally can't. I need to show you. This is another bridge. How many bridges has this thing got? There's just those two. Okay, cool. I'm going to show you what I mean. Most of the ship is hollow. Okay, so the main citadel, I suppose you could call it a citadel, in the middle here. Okay, you've got actual rooms and command stations and things like that. When you get in to the main bow of the ship, however, I'm still not in it. There's all the RCSs. Found them. Cargo. Here we go. Right. Okay. Most of the ship is like this sort of thing. It's hangar decks and stuff, and you can see you've got 3 sizable hangar decks throughout. Not even 3, to be honest. 3? No, it's a lot more than that. Yeah. Yes, you are seeing this, right? And then there's another hangar deck. It's even got little cranes in here for moving stuff around. There's little rooms up in here. They're empty, granted, but just everything about this ship is mind-blowing. And there you go. I think I'm going to have to force myself to stop. I can't do it anymore. The P2. Check it out. Have a look. Creative mode. Blow your own mind. Don't take my word for it. Have a look at that. P2. Number 9 on our list is the PSI Ilmarinen Heavy Mining Barge. Ilmarinen. Anyway. Oh, I got DI still up. Let's get rid of that. This thing looks amazing. It's not built by the same guy that built the P2, in case you were wondering. Very similar. I can see what you mean, though. A similar sort of decal style to this thing. But no, it's built by Rainyday. Thank you, Rainyday, for this build. It is very beautiful. And as the name suggests, it is a mining ship. But again, just the attention to detail on this thing is incredible. And it's huge. It is huge. Look at that. I wanted to show you this. The Donut of Doom. This mining ship, this ring, is encircled by mining lasers, as you can see. So you can have 4 people manning a mining drill and taking down asteroids. And this thing, no doubt, in a matter of seconds. Those mining drills do absolutely rip through it. It's like inside the ship, but not. Inside the ship, but outside. O2 stations, constructors, cargo. It's a deckside working space. Details around the thrusters. I love it. Again, it's one of those ships that I could just spend a whole episode just going through in detail. But you've got more constructors than you know what to do with this thing. You've got more cargo capacity in here than I think you could ever possibly need. And obviously, if you've exceeded the cargo capacity of this thing, do let me know in the comments. I would be flabbergasted if you have, because this is cargo boxes for days and days and days. Now we're on the weeks. Then we're going over to months. We're into years now. Decades. You get the idea. So the main ship, decorated reasonably nice, actually, I will say. What things are that? Little Jeffries tubes and piping. I love a Jeffries tube. I love Jeffries tubes. Come on. There should be more Jeffries tubes in ships. Hangar bay. Warp drive down. Hangar S2. Stern gunner station. Fuel tanks are up. It looks good, doesn't it? It looks real good. Again, I could spend a long time just looking through this ship. Hangar bay. Oh my god, I am so lost. I'm lost. I think we. Wow, what's that? Look at this. It's a map. I think. Is that a map? Stern. Midship. Bow. How cool is that? There's a map. It's a map on LCD screens. Starboard mess. I'll meet you in the starboard mess at 10 AM. Marvellous, sir. Jolly good to see you then. I hear they're doing tea and crumpets today. Actually, if it's a mining ship, they'll all be Scottish. Hey, we're gonna mine some rock today, aren't we, laddies? Hey, that's right. Yeah, get me a rock cannon going. Actually, let's maneuver this thing over to some rocks and see how it does. We're slowing. We're slowing. Got to maneuver. Threading the needle. 500 meters. A little bit more. that make me a bad ship driver? Right, we're parked on the rock. Time to get mining. Let's go into this one here. Park myself there, and I'm going to access a completely different drill turret, no doubt. Oh, it is. It's access the right one. Look at that, that's cool, isn't it? Imagine 4 of you drilling through this rock. You're done in seconds. Easy peasy. I like this. This is cool. Well, not the mining bit, I mean the whole premise of the ship and the mining. Anyway, the PSI Ilmarinen heavy mining barge. Rainyday. Thank you very much. What a build. Great looking ship. Attention to detail, 10 out of 10. Marvellous. Number 10 on our list. Last, but certainly not least. This is actually a blueprint that you can't get. That's right. I'm gonna tease you guys with a blueprint you can't actually get. So when I say must-have blueprints, I'm just rubbing it in. This is a blueprint by my good buddy DaChizzels on the Wolves community server, and you probably recognize it if you do follow those videos from the Wolves community. This is the Liberator, specifically the Liberator 2.0. Optimized for Alpha 6.0 and optimized for the new version of the Wolves server. This is a PvP ship in every sense of the form. This thing has been proven time and time again on the PvP battlefield as almost unkillable. In fact, if you watch the very last episode of the Reaver's Wrath build that I did, I take this thing on in a ship probably 8-9 times its size, and I can't kill it. It just carries on going. I might have killed all the turrets from it, but it was still moving around, no problems at all. This thing is just incredible. It's so fast and maneuverable. It spins very nicely, very well, and you know, it's pretty well armed as well. He's gone full laser complement, just because the lasers have pretty much an insta hit speed. What a design though. I love the ring, the outer ring, and the other engines on the inside. They're all well protected, and they meet server rules because ultimately they're exposed. They're exposed, so they meet server rules. Some people, some of you guys that play PvP might be looking at this thing going, nah, that's not PvP, you've got exposed thrusters, you need to bury them 8 blocks deep. Well, not on the Wolves server, that's actually against the rules. They have to be exposed, they have to be destroyable. So, let's have a quick look inside. I don't want to give you too much inside away, so I'm just going to quickly nip through. It's not built for looks, right? You know, it's purely a practical build. I've forgotten where the bridge is. No, that's down. Chizzles, help! It's up here. Here we go. Here's the bridge. What was I saying? Yeah, inside is purely practical. Although he has gone to the trouble of texturing and painting and putting lights in, and that's great. So I just love flying this thing around because it just handles like a sports car. It's just brilliant. PvP fight, that's what you want to do. Basically, you're engaging your target doing this. And this does that really well. Makes you seasick, yeah. Sorry about that. But there we go. The 10th blueprint you must have and can't have. I don't know, maybe one day Chizzles will make it a public blueprint, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't want his potential enemies getting hold of this absolute gem of a PvP warship. But time and time again, I've been very impressed with this thing. Just wanted to bring it to your guys' attention, and to show it off on behalf of him, because he wouldn't show it off. The Liberator 2.0. No link in the video description for this one. Sorry. Anyway, that is all for today. ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. And like I said, if you do know of any blueprints that you feel should have been in the list, or maybe want to feature in a later one, do pop them in the comments section of the video, and I'll promise I'll take a look at them and maybe feature them in the next one. But obviously, if I get 3,000, then just bear with me. It might take me a few years to get through. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.